There is a place beyond every light, beyond every echo, where time has not yet learned to flow. It is not the void, nor nothingness. It is the very substance of absence, an abyss so dense it can hold every possibility. It is the breath of chaos, the yawning chasm that precedes every form, every name, and in that breath, in that boundless immensity, she emerged. She was not created. She was not begotten. She was simply the necessity by which chaos defined itself. She who watches, the Queen of Silence. Not the mere absence of light we know, not the temporary veil that falls over our cities, but the eternal night, the primordial matrix from which all that is dark, mysterious, and fateful would take its origin. Her name is an echo that resounds in the depths of the soul, a summons to the darkness that precedes us and awaits us. She is the oldest, the most feared divinity so remote, so intrinsically bound to the structure of the cosmos itself, that even the thunderous voice of Zeus lowers in reverent awe when her silent chariot crosses the sky. She is not a realm, she is the condition. Remember the Genesis, not as a lesson, but as a vision unveiling itself. Chaos, the primordial void, could not remain alone, and so, in an embrace of elements, the first entities were born. Gaia, the solid earth, Uranus, the starry sky, and in a more intimate and less visible bond, Night and her twin, Erebus, darkness. Night, his mantle. They are not the same. Erebus is the gloom that fills the underground spaces, the shadow that envelops Hades. The Queen of Silence is the cosmic sphere, the infinite cloak that wraps the entire universe. She is the promise of what cannot be seen, the secret kept in the heart of time. Their union was not a marriage of love, but a fusion of elements. From the embrace of blackness and abysmal dark, two opposing splendors were born: Ether, the higher light, the pure air of the gods, and Hemera, day. It is a paradox that defines existence. Light is not born of light, but from the heart of darkness. Day is a child of night, a temporary guest, destined to yield to the dark mother each evening. And yet, from silence came the whisper. From darkness, the first spark of time. Imagine the threshold, the invisible verge between day and night. It is there that the dark mother and Hemera meet. Hemera, the luminous daughter, returns home to Tartarus when her task is done, and Night, the mother, emerges. There is no clash, no battle. There is only a passing of the torch, a cosmic rhythm established before the Titans or the Olympian gods could even conceive of war. The Queen of Silence has no need to fight to reign. Her reign is the very condition of being. And in this rhythm, in this ineluctable alternation, lies the first great lesson for the human soul. One cannot escape one's opposite. Light needs shadow to define itself. Our consciousness, so proud and sunlit, is only a brief interval in the vast, infinite realm of night, and every time the sun sets, we are forced to return to the mother's womb, to confront what the day has allowed us to ignore. But the true power of she who watches, her terror and her glory, resides in her offspring. After generating light and day with Erebus, Night withdrew. And in an act of autogenesis that defies every patriarchal logic of myth, she gave birth to a lineage of divinities and personifications that needed no father. They are the Nyctidae, the children of night, and they are, without exception, the most ineluctable and feared forces of existence. They are not gods of nature, but personifications of human fate. Close your eyes and see them move within her mantle. See Hypnos sleep, the gentle brother who lulls us and prepares us for the day. And beside him, his twin, Thanatos, death, the implacable one who awaits us at journey's end. Both are ministers of night, working undisturbed, unseen, sheltered from the judging light of day. And then, like lengthening shadows, appear the personifications of our inner torment, Moros doom, the inescapable fate, not fortune, but the sentence hanging over every mortal, the awareness that every choice is already written, Oisi's misery, anguish, the silent weight we carry in our hearts, Eris, old age, the inevitable decline, the slow ebbing of strength, and perhaps the most powerful and destructive of all, Eris, discord, the spark that ignites every conflict, the goddess who cast the golden apple that led to the Trojan War. Discord is a daughter of night, a shadow that insinuates itself, not a crash that explodes. But among all her children, 3 figures stand out, silent weavers of fate, 3 sisters who do not ask but decree. It is necessary to dwell on these 3 sisters, the Moirai, for they are the most tangible proof of the Dark Mother's power. They are not capricious like the Olympian gods. They are functionaries of the cosmos, executors of a law that precedes will. Clothos spins the thread of life, setting every mortal's path in motion. Lachesis measures it, assigning the portion of joy and pain, of glory and oblivion. And Atropos, the ineluctable, the one who cannot be swayed, cuts the thread with her sacred shears. The Queen of Silence, their mother, did not give them power. She gave them existence. Fate is not an invention, but an emanation of the eternal night. It is the form chaos takes when it crystallizes into law. Consider the paradox. Zeus, lord of the sky, can hurl thunderbolts, seduce, punish, but he cannot command the Moirai. He cannot lengthen the thread by a single day, nor alter its weave. His power is limited by the silent authority of these daughters of night. Their work is a constant reminder that Zeus's order is only a superficial layer. Beneath it, in the womb of the Dark Mother, lies the unmoving structure of fate. And that structure was woven in darkness before light had a name. And so, fate binds to the soul, and the soul binds to retribution. Among the children of she who watches, there is another force that embodies inevitability. Nemesis, retribution. Nemesis is not personal vengeance. She is cosmic balance. She is the goddess who measures excess, arrogance, hybris, and ensures the scales return to their place. Whenever a mortal or a god pushes too far, whenever pride crosses the line, it is Nemesis who moves in the shadows, silent, inexorable. She is the justice that needs no tribunals. She is the law of cause and effect, written into the fabric of night. And if Nemesis is justice, the Erinyes are its most terrifying execution. Though their maternity is sometimes attributed to the blood of Uranus, darker and older sources bind them directly to the Queen of Silence. The Erinyes, the Furies, are the huntresses of guilt, the incarnations of remorse and madness that hound those who have spilled kindred blood or violated sacred oaths. Imagine them, not creatures of flesh, but vortices of consciousness. They are the terror that rises from within, the awareness that there is no escape from one's own shadow. They are proof that the realm of eternal night is not only external, but extends into the deepest folds of the human psyche. The Dark Mother begets fate, and she begets the price for trying to escape it. And yet, even the greatest power must bow before its origin. Myth offers us a single extraordinary revelation of night's power, a moment when her shadow stretches to Olympus and forces the king of the gods to step back. Zeus, father of gods and men, stands at the height of his power. He has defeated the Titans, established cosmic order. None dare defy his will. And yet there is a moment when Hera, his wife, seeks to deceive him to favor the Greeks in war. To succeed, she asks the aid of Hypnos, sleep. The son of night, Hypnos, is reluctant. He remembers an earlier attempt when he had lulled Zeus at Hera's command. Upon waking, Zeus raged. He began to hunt Hypnos, intent on casting him into the abyss. Terrified, Hypnos did not flee to Olympus or to Tartarus. He fled to his mother's womb. He took refuge with she who watches. When Zeus, the god of the thunderbolt, the lord of the sky, arrived, he found himself before her, not an assembly of gods, not an army of titans, but the mute presence of eternal night. The myth whispers with a simplicity more powerful than 1,000 thunders. He restrained himself, though angered, because he feared to do anything that might offend the night who issues swift commands. Dwell on this image. The god who overthrew his father, who chained his enemies, who rules with the terror of lightning. He stops, not out of fear of a fight, but out of fear of displeasing the Queen of Silence. What does it mean to displease a cosmic force? It is not a personal offense. It is the fear of breaking the primordial balance. It is the awareness that night is not an adversary, but the fundamental law of the universe. To challenge her is not to win or lose. It is to dissolve. As Zeus feared night, so every man fears what he cannot control. This is the true power of the Dark Mother. It is not brute force, but inevitability. She is the unwritten law that even the sovereign must respect. She is the constant reminder that order is only an interval, a temporary illusion, within the vast and endless realm of primordial dark. And within that fear, wisdom is hidden. Night is not merely a mythic figure. She is a universal symbol that resounds in the depths of the human psyche. She represents the unknown, the unmanifest, all that is hidden, mysterious, and escapes solar, rational logic. In the light of day, we are defined by our actions, our words, our will. We are creatures of surface, of clarity. But when the Queen of Silence spreads her mantle, the inner journey begins. The inner journey is the true realm of the eternal night. Night is the time of introspection, of primordial fear, but also of revelation. It is the moment when the boundaries between conscious and unconscious dissolve. Her children, sleep and dreams, carry us to realms where the logic of day has no power. Her offspring, the Keres, Moros, Oises, remind us that existence is woven of suffering, fate, and death. They are uncomfortable truths that daylight tries to ignore with its forced optimism. The Dark Mother compels us to face the shadow. Myth teaches that we cannot defeat night. We cannot defeat fate, death, old age, or discord. They are primordial forces, not enemies to be slain. The true act of wisdom is not to struggle against she who watches, but to learn to navigate her realm. Night is the great leveler. Beneath her veil, king and beggar are the same. Mighty Zeus and fragile mortal share the same reverent fear of the darkness that envelops all. In the dark is found the truest knowledge, not from books or masters, but from a deep acceptance of the limits of existence. The Queen of Silence is the mother of all that is ineluctable, and accepting ineluctability is the first step toward inner freedom. And ineluctability has its dwelling at the roots of the cosmos. Where does night dwell? Her realm is not Olympus, too noisy and superficial. It is not the earth, too fleeting. The Dark Mother dwells in Tartarus, not Tartarus as a prison, but as the very root of the cosmos, the place where the world's foundations were laid. Hesiod describes her house with an image of astounding visual power, a place girded by a wall of bronze, where the roots of earth and sea meet. There night has her dwelling, a palace wrapped in black clouds, and, as we have seen, It is there that she meets with her daughter Hemera. Day when Hemera enters, the Dark Mother departs. When night enters, Hemera departs. They never share the same house at the same time. It is the rhythm of the cosmos, the fundamental pulse of existence. But there is a detail that reveals her nature. In Tartarus, she who watches is not only night, she is the keeper. Keeper of whom? Of the defeated Titans imprisoned by Zeus. The Queen of Silence, Mother of Fate, is also the guardian of those who defied order. Her presence in Tartarus is not punishment, but cosmic law. She is the seal, the primordial dark that holds in check the chaotic forces that could destroy Zeus's order. It is a sublime paradox. The oldest, most feared divinity is also the guarantor of stability. Her darkness is not destruction, but preservation. And preservation manifests in the eternal cycle of rest and awakening. Let us return to her offspring, for it is there that night speaks most directly to us. Consider the twin brothers, Hypnos and Thanatos, sleep and death. Death, Thanatos, is often portrayed as a winged being who bears away the soul gently, not violently. It is passage, not end. And sleep, Hypnos, is his double. Each night when we fall asleep, we undergo a little death, an anticipation, a rehearsal. The Dark Mother, their mother, offers us this consolation. Sleep is her gift, the rest from the burdens of day. But it is also her warning. Sleep reminds us that we are fragile, that our consciousness is a flame that can be snuffed with a simple touch. And death, Thanatos, reminds us that day's allotment is limited. Eternal night is not a place of damnation, but of absolute rest. It is the return to the matrix, to chaos from which we came. There is no judgment in her realm. There is no moral. There is only being and non-being. When we look at the night sky, we do not see only stars. We see the mantle of the Queen of Silence, an endless hush that envelops and resizes us. We are creatures of day, but we were born of night, and to night we shall return. Return is the law, and the law is the limit. Night is the divinity of the limit. She is the boundary between day and night, between life and death, between order and chaos. She is the force that whispers that not everything can be explained, not everything can be controlled. Her Moirai remind us that our destiny is already woven, that we are actors in a cosmic tragedy written before our birth. But night is not only fatalism, she is also hidden power. In her darkness, the stars shine with a clarity the sun does not allow. Darkness reveals what light conceals. True magic and true mystery do not dwell in the clamor of day, but in the silence of night. The Dark Mother is the muse of poets, the counselor of sages, the mother of secrets. She teaches us that strength is not always visible. Sometimes the greatest strength is the ability to wait, to be silent, to be the shadow that watches the play of gods and men. She is eternity observing time. And when day fades and the world falls quiet, we feel her presence not as a threat, but as a cosmic embrace. We are safe in her lap, for she is the Dark Mother who gave rise to everything, even to light. Listen to the wind that blows in the night. It is not merely air in motion. It is the breath of she who watches, a breath that has crossed and engendered eons, a sigh that has seen entire divine lineages born and die. It is the sound of time dissolving. Look at the stars. They are not merely celestial bodies. They are her eyes watching the universe. Every point of light is a fragment of a secret the Queen of Silence keeps. They are the tears of light the eternal night sheds upon the world, a reminder that even in the deepest darkness, wonder is possible. Feel the silence. It is not the absence of sound, It is her voice speaking without words, a voice that neither commands nor begs but reveals, a revelation of the self, of one's fate, of one's fragility and one's strength. Night has no temples. She needs no sacrifices. Her worship is the acceptance of mystery, the recognition that we are small, ephemeral, yet part of something immeasurable. She is the dark mother who holds our hand in the dark, not to frighten us, but to show us that the dark is not empty. It is full of fate, of dreams, of death, of retribution, of discord, of old age. It is the fullness of existence we cannot see in the light of day. And in this darkness, there is a peace that surpasses all understanding, the peace of returning to the origin. And the return to the origin is the encounter with the Nyctidae, the lords of our shadow. Imagine descending past the roots of the earth, beyond the borders of Hades. The journey to night's dwelling is the journey to the center of oneself. There we meet her children. We meet Moros, doom. And we understand that our struggle is not against fate, but against our illusion of control. His gaze is not cruel, but neutral. He shows us the line laid out and asks, "What will you do with the time measured out to you?" We meet Eris, discord, and we understand that conflict is not external, but a shadow born from our own heart. Her laughter is bitter yet sincere. She reveals that the greatest war is the one we wage against ourselves, the inner division we project onto the world. We meet Thanatos, death, and we understand that he is not an enemy, but a liberator, the last and greatest gift of night. His touch is cold but not violent. It is absolute stillness, the end of torment, the return to primordial silence. The Dark Mother does not judge us, she welcomes us. Her palace in Tartarus is not a prison, but a sanctuary, the place where the order of day dissolves and primordial truth reemerges. She is the cosmic memory, the keeper of all that has been and all that will be. And so the cycle closes, and night's echo resounds in eternity. The myth of the Queen of Silence is an invitation to remember that our light is a gift of her darkness, to remember that our day is an interval within her eternity, to remember that our life is a dream woven by her children. And when fear of the dark assails us, we need only recall the story of Zeus. The mightiest god stopped, he lowered his thunderbolt. He honored the Dark Mother, for she who watches is the law, and the law cannot be broken, it can only be understood. Do not seek night's beauty in human form, as painters do. Seek it in sensation, in the scent of damp earth after sunset, in the whisper of leaves the wind moves in the dark, in the silence that wraps the world before dawn. Her beauty is the beauty of the absolute. She is the black canvas on which the stars are painted. She is the void that makes form possible. She is the eternal night that makes day precious. And so, the chariot of the Queen of Silence continues its silent journey, a black veil woven of dreams and destinies, descending upon the world. Day is over. Order dissolves, consciousness withdraws, only the shadow remains, the shadow that watches, the shadow that waits, the shadow that is. And in that silence, in that primordial darkness, the question dissolves. There is nothing left to ask, only the echo of a name whispered by chaos. There is no light that is not born of darkness, and every god, every man, sooner or later, returns to the breath of the watching mother.